just do your work. Be you, be the best that you can be with any given situation, and then all of that is just going to fall into place. And so I think I'm really strong and really courageous because I've confronted things. I confronted people.
What made you want to come into this industry?
I can't be a secret agent. I have to tell people. I have to say what I'm doing on a daily basis, or, on a weekly basis if that was the case, but...
All right, everybody, welcome back to sunny I can't say sunny San Diego because we haven't had sun in quite a long time.
That's okay.
Oh, I could say that?
I don't know.
All right. Well, welcome back. We're just going, welcome back to the What's Next podcast. I was just making a little quick joke there, but I'm your host, Levi Casada. Behind the mic and behind the cameras, my man, Tony.
Yep.
What's going on, Tony?
Not much, man. Excited for today.
Bro, we've been talking about this probably from, I don't know now, like 6 months, I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you know we had not one full Sunday in May?
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Insane.
And they're still predicting it through June.
That's just not California.
That's not California.
That's not San Diego.
That's not San Diego.
Whatever, like in the Midwest or something.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
But you know what is the sunshine that I love is Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays. I love doing this podcast, and it's no exception today because I have the most beautiful, smart, intelligent, woman in this room. Does she not have the most gorgeous blue eyes you've ever seen?
Definitely.
Yeah. They're mesmerizing. So I'm excited for this next hour. Yeah, just looking into her beautiful blue eyes. But let me introduce you and welcome to the show, Francia Castro. I probably messed up your name again. Francia. Just, you guys messed me up before the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you for the compliments. That just sets me up for the rest of the show. So
well, good. I hope
anytime I get started with beautiful blue eyes, I'm like, okay, I got this.
You should, because you walk around with them every day, and it's wow, just on your posts alone, I'm like, oof, those are blue.
It's so funny because I don't notice them, right? But whenever I do have to look at my videos or whatever, I'm like, oh, my eyes look really blue, or stuff like that. But I
do certain outfits make them pop even more?
Blue for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm there, but it's kind of cool.
Mesmerizing. You got great eyelashes. Yeah,
Thank you.
everything is just popping. I love it. That's why the sunshine is right
dad.
here. Do you really?
Yes. The good-looking version, I would say.
Are you the firstborn?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay.
I'm the baby.
That's interesting, because I don't know if, and you guys can comment on this later, but I've heard that the oldest or the firstborn looks like the father, primal wise, because in the animal kingdom, they don't eat their young. They know you're not there to cause problems, that you're actually part of the family.
Yeah.
So they look like the father.
That's my brother is the oldest, and he is actually looking like my dad more now that he's older.
Okay.
He's 50 now, I think, or he's going to be 50 pretty soon. But anyway, I just look at him and I'm like, oh my God, he looks like my dad, you know? And when he was younger, he looked a lot like my mom. So that was kind of weird. But, but I think we, it's four of us, and we all kind of just borrowed a lot from both of our parents,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I love that.
For the most part.
Well, good. Well, first podcast you've been on?
Yes.
Well, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on here.
I'm so excited to be here. Like I said, I'm all for it.
You're all for it. Well, I like to start the show because I know you talked a little bit. You're a little nervous. Don't be nervous. This is going to be great. So I always like to break the ice.
Okay.
We're going to do Would You Rather. So you ready for this?
Oh, okay, guys.
Oh,
yes.
don't do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am
This
ready
is the
for
fun
this.
part of the show.
Okay.
This is easy.
All right.
There's no wrong answer. Tony likes to participate too. We'll do a few of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the power to control time or the power to control the weather? This is kind of funny. I just said that.
Oh, time for sure.
Yeah.
I want more time. I want to live till I'm 200 years old. So
Do you really?
Yes.
But looking like this.
Oh, yes.
Frozen
of
at
course.
this,
That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But I do want to get back, to my kids on that, because I spent a lot of time taking care of them.
Yeah.
So I intend to, pay back and have them take care of me for a very long time.
Oh, there you go too. Yeah.
So I'm I don't care if I'm deteriorating, but I want my kids to have that responsibility and know what it feels like.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean?
Well, Well, at 200, their kids will be taking care of you, not just
like 7 generations after, but I'll be pretty famous about it.
Yeah. I thought about this one. At this point, like, I'd rather control the weather. I don't know. I mean, you're right. Time is great because I do have 2 young ones too. And like my 6-year-old is at such a great, he's a boy. I think you have a 7-year-old, right?
I haven't. Yeah, he's 8.
He's 8 now. Yeah. Okay. I see him walking to school and I'm like, I want to pause time.
Yeah.
It's such a cool age that he's at, and he loves things and he's happy to be around. He's happy to be around. Like, he's a lover.
Yeah.
I just know there's going to be a point where I was the same way. I was the baby of the boy. And I started being like, pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
I mean, when it comes to weather, obviously right now we've just been getting the sucky weather that, like, my bones hurt. I
have to take vitamins. I got to take some vitamin D just to get
like looking. I mean, I'm pasty. I'm like,
right?
and it sucks. But I think with time, like you said, you can pause it. I would love to redo a lot of things in my life. I've made so many mistakes, and I would love to be able to stop it and go back, redo everything, but we are not given that.
Well, we'll go deeper into that. So, we'll go deeper into those mistakes. A little deeper. Not too deep. You know what I'm saying.
No, go deep.
Go deep?
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Might as well.
Let's get a few more of these questions. Yeah, we're here. Might as well shoot it and then see what comes out of it. All right.
I'm not scared of you.
I like that. Oh, this is trouble. All right. Would you rather have the ability to speak and understand all languages or be a master of every musical instrument?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I love music. I really do. Music. And I think that I was supposed to play an instrument. I just didn't
Why
get
do you feel like that?
Because I really have a good ear for music and instruments. And like when I hear a song, I like to break it down into like beats and things like that. Like I get really into it. And then lyrics and, voice tunes and tones and all of that stuff. So I get really weird. And, I love music. But I think I would have to go with the language thing. And especially now in my life, like I want that ability to just communicate and expand and know. And
you could pick up and travel and go anywhere and feel like you're at home.
Oh yeah.
Like, isn't that that'd be a cool feeling.
That would be amazing. Yeah. And especially in those countries that they don't really like Americans.
Right. True. That you could walk in there and still experience their culture and not feel like I'm an outsider, but I can speak your language and understand people. And
so that was the tricky one, but I would say languages for sure.
That is a tough one. Yeah. Languages. That's a good answer because I was same way. I love music. I am tone deaf. You can tell my kids are like, stop singing. Yeah. But I love the beat. Yeah. Like the beats to music is what I rarely, I listen to the lyrics, but like the music behind it is just amazing to me.
Yeah. I was in the church choir when I was little.
Were you?
Yeah. And
they put me in it, but I didn't. I was the one that was like, all right, speak above Levi.
I was the one like near the microphone just screaming and everybody was like, okay, that kid needs to go to the back, But,
oh man, we need that.
But I loved singing and, I always kind of had a passion for singing, but that's kind of what dove me into a lot of music, different genres and things like that. Yeah. So, a lot of musical stuff.
And there was a lot of good music back in the day.
Oh yeah. Right? My generation was like the best, I think.
Right.
I mean, we got the best of like the 80s or, even before the 70s and stuff like that. And then like the 90s was really good music. I think it was a great generation.
Yeah. I had a conversation with someone, I think yesterday, about like what bands are out there now. Like, can you think of a band that's like, because we were talking about how like Phil Collins was in Genesis and then, so-and-so left and he became, and then Phil Collins left and becomes like, what bands do that now to where, the guitarist is now the main singer? You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day was like all bands. Right. And then they kind of broke off and maybe did their own albums, but I can't think of really, maybe I'm not into today's music or.
Yeah, I kind of just started listening to, so weird, but anyway, a lot of worship music. And
really?
I'm getting into
there's all bands in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I like a lot of, but I'm like a Kings of Leon fanatic. I started listening to them when I was very young and kind of grew up with them and in their music, I mean, you kind of, when you follow somebody for that long, you kind of see the changes and their maturity kind of also happen within the same time as you. So what was kind of like rock and roll and stuff like that was appealing to me when I was young. And then now that I'm older and they have like really mature sounding songs or lyrics and tunes, it's like, okay, you know, like I can still relate them to me, because if they were still doing the same thing that they were doing when they were young, I'd be like, oh, I'm not into that band anymore.
Back
you know what I mean?
70s, 80s, it was like women. When it was in rock, it was like women and like that kind of stuff. But
Guns N' Roses and all that.
if they're still singing about that, you're like, okay, you did this back in then. But now they're matured and have other life experiences, like having kids,
but Guns N'
growing
Roses
up,
is still touring with the same Guns N' Roses stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like you never really grew up with them because they got stuck in that generation or in that time frame. Yeah. And it's like with Kings of Leon, it's been kind of beautiful to see them like be young and rock and roll, and then now they're just like family men who are writing really good songs and have just, you know, different tunes.
That's cool. I didn't think of that. I gotta
really
listen
good.
to them.
Yeah. Anyways, shout out to Kings of Leon.
There you go.
Modern bands, I'll say, well, they kind of the singer died. Is Linkin Park? I think they had a huge influence in the 2000s and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Linkin Park, they were kind of like the guys, you know.
Linkin Park, but they also collaborated with Jay-Z and stuff, didn't they? Yeah, they did like a little album there where that was pretty.
Nowadays, I'll say Imagine
fire.
Dragons. They're
Imagine Dragons,
cool.
yeah. There's still some bands out there, but there wasn't like, I mean, and hey, let me know. I could be wrong, but I was just thinking about all the bands that, you know, I go through. I have vinyl still, so I'm looking through all the vinyls and I'm like, that was a cool band. That was a cool band. That was a cool band. I mean, you talk about Chicago, that was probably like an 18-piece like orchestra with a band. Like they were big back then. Yeah. You know, that was the thing.
Do you, because you said vinyl, and I have like not that many, but I don't really listen to my record player anymore. So I'll gift you a couple that I think you might like.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And one of my good like indie bands is Beirut. I don't know if you know this band. And this guy is really, well, now he's not that great, and I just don't really relate to the stuff that he's writing because he's suffered from depression for a long time. So, but his old stuff was very international. Like, you know, he traveled and he lived in France for a long time, and he loved like the mariachi, you know, from Mexico, and so he incorporated everything onto this band, right? And so the sound is super unique, and his lyrics are cool, but also kind of hard to follow because you can tell he's just writing from his own emotions and experience. So, but Beirut is one of my top bands, and Beach House also. I don't know if there's been a couple of songs that like The Weeknd did from Beach House. That, you know, like clips of, I don't know what you'd call that, like when they
like a mashup almost.
Yeah, like you know, just grab a tone or tune or whatever melody and just plug it into their song. And so they're kind of one of my second best bands, but they're pretty indie, and anytime they're touring, I'm like for sure gonna go see them, you know. That's amazing. I have a really funny story about Beach House. Oh my god.
Is this like a
I always say the story because,
sort of?
Yes, it was ridiculous actually, because I went to go see them at the Madonna Inn up in San Luis Obispo or whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, this Madonna Inn is like this, they have a venue there, and it's like this old hotel, and you know, there's like these cottages that you rent out. So anyway, I'm totally drunk, like drank all day and went to the concert, and then I'm in my room with two other friends, and I'm singing I think I was singing, I was being very obnoxious, but I was singing in Dave Matthews Band.
Crash.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, we're singing, and then they call and say, hey, you know, somebody put a complaint that you guys are being too loud. And I'm like, whatever, you know, this and this and that. And like 2 minutes later, I get up and I'm like, look, because I hear somebody outside, and I'm like looking outside the window, like through the blinds, and then I'm like, I'm like, somebody's out there. And then all of a sudden the singer and the guitarist from Beach House like are walking right in front of my room. And so
was it them that complained?
No. They were just walking by my room exactly when I was looking outside to see who was outside, because there were some other people making noise too. Yeah. And so I look, and then the door, so I ran to the door to open it, because I'm like, I'm drunk and I'm fanning out big time. And the door has like blinds on it, so it's super loud when I'm trying to open it, so it's slamming everywhere. And she's looking at me, and then he's looking at me, and I'm like, oh my God, like totally fanned out. She's telling me shh, the whole time, and I'm like, oh my God. And my friends keep making fun of me. Like, they'll send me pictures because we took pictures, and
were they nice to you?
Oh, they were super nice, but
cool.
They were telling me to like be quiet, because I was just like, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I love you guys, and totally ridiculous status. But anyway, till this day, I get made fun of because I totally, they thought I was gonna kill them. I'm pretty sure they thought I was running after them. Like, you could tell she was terrified. Is this woman singer? It's her and a guy guitarist or whatever. But anyway, that was a fun story, and I just can't believe that just aligned to where I got to meet them. You know, and it was like in that awkward situation, but also like I was like, okay, whatever, like,
that's funny.
They'll probably remember me.
That's funny, and I don't think I've ever experienced that fanboy, fangirl experience to any. I don't know. I don't know why. You had to be drunk. I feel like people, like, I've watched video of people fainting to Michael Jackson and the Beatles, just seeing him start the show, and they're like, oh, I'm like, how do you get? But now I know.
Yeah. I know, it was just that moment, because I've met other like singers and, didn't really go there. Yeah. I kept my cool, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, like stuff like that, But I think it was just like, I couldn't believe that they were right in front of my room, and anyway. But that was kind of like one of an epic moments.
How long ago was that?
This is like 4 years ago, maybe.
Damn,
yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
4 or 5 years ago, something like that. But anyway, I won't go down in the books for sure.
That's awesome. That's a good story. I mean, people should have those stories. Those are memories, you'll carry on forever, and your friends just died laughing over it.
Oh, my friends. I mean, randomly, and I don't talk to these friends that often, so randomly she'll send me a picture of a close-up of my face, where I'm like, like melting, like looking at the singer. So it's like,
I would just send you pictures of an actual beach house, because they're called beach house, right?
Beach house. Yeah. No, seriously, like if you ever want to see me blushing, just you remind me of that story for sure.
That's so funny.
But
that's why I love Would You Rathers, because stories come out. That was only the second Would You Rather question. That's hilarious.
Like, oh,
how do we get this far? Yeah, what are we doing? All right, I'll get one more now. That was great. I love that.
Okay.
Let's see. Would you rather be able to relive one day from your past, or know one significant event from your future?
Relive the past.
One day.
Yeah. If I can redo it, yes. One day.
Oh, you would redo it?
I would redo it. Yeah. I would probably redo it. I don't want to know what's in the future. I'm
one significant thing in the future? That's true. You just don't know what it could be.
Surprise me. I love surprises.
Yeah.
Like, surprise me. God.
Will you tell me the day you would redo? You don't have to.
I don't know the specific day or the specific thing or anything, but I think that, I have a pretty hefty bag of things that I would bring out and redo. Yeah. So I would definitely think about it.
Yeah, you would definitely. Yeah. Okay. So the past for sure.
I think so. The past for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's something that you can't, you'll never be able to do again. But if in the future, like, as long as I can control the present and the things that I'm doing now, I think the future is going to be good, for the most part.
100%.
So I'll leave that.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would think of, like, the future would be, we have kids. So, like, just make sure they're okay. Like, to see, but then, like,
oh, you threw the kid out there.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like, you're just kind of like, okay, where is my daughter in this time period? Like, is she, well, we talked about it earlier. We have, like, we internalize, we worry.
Yeah.
And so it physically hurts us. So like ever since my daughter was born, I like always, you have a female in this world now. You're like, gotta take care of her.
I totally agree. But I think that and then personally, I have been in my faith.
Yeah.
And just really, really in my belief of like God and, getting into all of that has put the future
just in his hands.
In his hands.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. whatever. I mean, even when I get sick, I'm like, telling you about my story. It's like, I'm like, okay, if that's an experience that I'm going to go through, then, I need to be in connection with him and then he's going to get me through it or not.
Yeah,
but, acceptance of what my purpose is. And, that's kind of always, something that I'm asking myself, like, what is my purpose? And so if things are given to me, I'll roll with the punches at that point. But I have a really good, positive outlook in my future for my kids, for myself, my family, as long as I keep connected to God and my faith.
Yeah.
So,
but don't you also believe that like he put you in this position right here, that you're sitting in this chair
I totally
for a reason? So like, why change anything? You know what I'm saying too? Like I went back in this question a lot and I'm like, okay, I could change some things that I really could change, but could it
That's true.
ruin could it ruin like, you know what I'm saying?
Stuff.
Could it ruin just that one, like cause like example, like my daughter has cystic fibrosis, is a lung disease. And like, if I would go back to change the day that we conceived her or something like that, or like prior to that and be like, oh, we both got tested, we should do it a different way, would we have had her? Like, would she be the same strong person that she went through? And like, she's doing great and she has like medicine that's out there and we're involved in the foundation and doing strides for this foundation, raising money for people don't even know what that disease is because it's so rare. So that's a hell of a question. It's a tough question.
You just sent me.
I know. We could go. Yes. That's a whole nother podcast. I feel bad for doing that.
No, seriously, because I wasn't thinking about that. But yes, you're right. And exactly to this moment in the present time, like, would we be here? Like you said, if
just
I go back,
one moment that you change your whole thing.
Which is kind of funny, but
I know. I think about it all the time, but I love being, this is why I do this, so we get people's input and like, I love,
Yeah, there's so many things that, if you think back and say, hey, I'm going to change it, it would definitely affect where you are in the present moment, So you're right. I'm like,
I know. I didn't mean to throw you off there.
I don't know. Because exactly, I probably wouldn't be here, sitting here. It wouldn't have led for me to seek out, certain people, certain things, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm really happy right now. So I really have to appreciate that I'm in a very happy place, and all of the things, the negative and the mistakes and, the bad stuff has led me to be able to be present. And then happy too. So I'm
sorry
okay.
to change your answer.
But
change your mind. Half and half.
I'll say that in my case, I think I will go to the past, but not to change, but just to, let's say,
experience it again.
Spend time with somebody, and just like
that's a good.
This is the last time I'm gonna see you.
Oh yeah, because it's a relive a day.
I don't need to change anything. I just need to spend time with that person.
Just see that person one more time. That's a good one too.
And say things that maybe I didn't get to tell that person.
Yeah, that's why everybody's answer will be different. And that's why this is not your ordinary podcast. I'm sorry, people. It's the next podcast, and unfortunately, I'm the host. So if you're listening, you're listening. If not, you're not.
That's right.
But I love.
This is what they get.
This is what you get. I love these conversations. It sparks a great conversation about these questions. Mm-hmm. The conversation is amazing. But now that we talked about that and leading up to this point, this is a great starting point. Like, let's start with your journey into where you are today. So you're not from the United States.
No.
Okay, so tell us that.
I was born in Sonora, Mexico.
Okay.
Or Sonora, Mexico. And my parents brought us here when I was 5 years old. And hardworking, parents, and just wanted to give us a better future. So we started here, and then we went to TJ. I did some school in TJ, a couple of years there, and a couple of years here. So it was really difficult for me to adapt in my young years to either culture, so I was always like in between. I wasn't like too Mexican and I wasn't too American,
Who has the blue eyes in your family? Just really quick, because
So 2 generations ago. So my great
Spanish?
grandparents, yes, Spanish blood there, both sides, my mom and my dad. So, but I'm like the only blue-eyed kid.
I was gonna say, like, I'm brown-eyed, my sister's brown-eyed, my daughter's brown-eyed, and then all of a sudden I have this blue-eyed boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, But my mom has blue eyes, so it's like, my wife's, it's crazy
so
how it just recessive gene all of a sudden comes out.
Totally. Well, especially I'm like the only blue-eyed kid in my family, and especially like all of my Mexico family.
Yeah.
I don't think but my mom has kind of olive green eyes, and my dad has green eyes. My 2 sisters have green eyes. My brother has kind of
not even
hazel.
brown. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but I'm the only one with the blue eyes. So anyway,
good for
lucky.
you. I'm sorry to change that subject.
I wasn't supposed
back to your eyes.
It's not like they planned me either. So when they saw this, they were like, "Oh, we didn't want this, but we got this. All right, cool."
Did your siblings always tease you and say, "Oh, you're adopted. You don't even look like us"?
That wasn't kind of the thing for us. But I mean, I always got compliments and always like, "Do you speak? Oh, you speak Spanish?" Like,
I know, right?
Everybody says it to me, or they ask me like, "Oh, you're Mexican?" You know? And so that was growing up, and even when I was living in TJ for my early years, I mean, a lot of people always assumed that I was like this white girl in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know?
So you spoke Spanish first?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. And so anyway, kind of went there, came here, went back over there. And then finally we settled here when I was in 8th grade. And that was a real struggle because at that point, I was in my early teen years and I didn't have any friends, and I only spoke Spanish.
I was gonna say, moving around for that long.
Yes, and it was hard.
Yeah.
And you come in to the teen years where you don't fit in. And I didn't have any friends. Yeah. And I was kind of like already, the skater weirdo, like short hair with,
That's
like
so funny.
Whatever. So
baggy pants. Basically what everybody's wearing right now. Back to
exactly. So so it was really difficult, and my English was really bad. I mean, I preferred speaking Spanish, but I actually I became friends with this American girl, and she would always correct me and show me kind of like, slang, and, oh, you mean this, and, oh, you want to say this. And so I was just this recording like thing that I was, I didn't want to make the same mistake again. So I paid a lot of attention to how she spoke to other people, and, pretty much picked it up right away. And so then my accent slowly but surely kind of just went away. And so I worked on perfecting my English accent as much as I could.
Oh,
and,
wow.
So yeah. But it took, my relatives, my siblings speak English, but they do have an accent, when they speak.
Like Tony.
Like, kind
of like Tony.
I didn't.
He doesn't practice his English accent. I'm sorry. He usually gives me crap throughout the show, but I'm sorry. No. But it's the same. Yeah.
Thank you. So my brother's a little bit, a little bit harsher, but and then my sister, who's she's 2 years older than me. She's not too harsh there, but anyway, it was a struggle, and then I finally just started making friends and got married when I was really young. I was
How young were you?
17.
You were 17?
Yes, I was 17.
Living in the States?
Oh, yeah.
And got married?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old was
he? He was older than me. He was like 24 at the time.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. I mean, now it's like nobody even bats an eye at that.
Right.
But yeah, obviously.
No, I mean, he was 6 years older than me, and it was a really it was a weird experience, and it's one of those things, like if I would change that, then I wouldn't be here,
right?
I wouldn't have my beautiful daughters, and so there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for that experience. We were together for 8 years, and then I just we kind of grew apart, and I just kind of started my life over at that point, because up until that point, I was like a stay-at-home mom, I had my first daughter when I was 20.
Yeah.
So I was a stay-at-home mom, just, having the blessing of being able to be with my kids and raise them and things like that.
Now, quick question, sorry to interrupt you, but did you feel you had to get married at that age? Because I just know, like, back in, I'm Hispanic as well, too. Yeah. So, like, a lot of, families, they all got married, high school sweethearts, like, you kind of.
It wasn't like that for me. It was just more like, I'm not going anywhere. And this is like, he was somebody that I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life. You know, I didn't really imagine myself being with anybody else. And so it was only natural for us to just kind of continue on, you know, and getting married. And then, you know, we had our kids and stuff. But then, you know, that ended. And then I just kind of started over.
So you were 25, just about when about it ended.
Yeah. I had my daughter, my second daughter was about 2 years old, 2.5, something like that. And I started, you know, working. That was really tough, but it was kind of interesting because, you know, I was in that place where I wanted to grow. You know, I was like a stay-at-home mom, just being around my kids, like being around his family and my family. Like I literally did not know anybody else, you know? And so for me, getting out in the world and talking to different people, it was like
eye-opening.
And so I started doing that and I really liked it. And I started working customer service for a furniture manufacturing company. And that was such a great experience. I felt really blessed to work with a lot of good people there, and they taught me a lot and they looked after me a lot too. Had an awesome manager. Shout out to Andy Bell. He's awesome.
Nice.
So, you know, he was very encouraging, and he's one of the people that actually told me to go into sales. So I was like, okay. You know, he saw it in me. And so that was kind of the start of something, I think.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And this was when you're...
So when I separated after I was with
that your first job after you separated?
Yeah.
Because you were, like you said, you were a stay-at-home mom. Wow.
Yeah, that was my first job. And I stayed with them, with this company for almost 9 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, in customer service. As you know, we were doing, I was an account executive, you know, for these furniture lines, and, you know, dealt with sales reps and buyers and things like that. So that was kind of in it, but I was always in the back end of things. And, you know, they always sent the you know, the sales reps that nobody wanted to deal with, you know, like the moody and demanding. And I was always like, hey, it's okay, you know, I'll call you back and let you know about your order. And, you know, so I always kind of calm them down for them.
The perfect customer service person. Yeah, that's you're made for, so I know you're a November 9th birthday. Yeah. If you would have read this back in the day when you were 17 or whatnot, you probably would have changed a little difference. But this is what it says about you, okay? Those born on November 9th have a strong sense of independence. But you didn't know that because that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I can feel that for sure. Yeah. They prefer only to rely on themselves and often possess leadership qualities, making them natural decision makers. Let's see, people born on the 9th are known for their strong sense of determination. They set goals for themselves and work tirelessly to achieve them, often displaying remarkable perseverance. That's your story right there.
That is my
story. Like, no joke. Like, no, I mean, I don't know if you believe in the whole, like...
I was into all of, like, astrology and, you know, numerology and things like that. But yes, I mean, absolutely. I think that I just kind of found out recently that I have a lot of courage, you know? I'm very courageous.
That's what I'm saying. I think that just looking at you and, you know... seeing you on Instagram and following you before we actually have had this conversation, before knowing this story, like you were put into a place where you were not set to thrive. And you didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? And then there was that one day where it was like my November 9th like presence, my spirit is like still like, I need that something. And you found it and you were like, I need to be out. I need to be.
And I think we're, you know, I think every human, but I think that for me, it's about finding my purpose. And so when I was confined into this space where I couldn't really express myself and you know, go after my purpose, then that's where, you know, that determination and motivation and, you know, and I have to get somewhere, you know, to that place where I'm destined to get to. I don't even know where it is, but I'm going to do it every single day, you know, because I know that there's that purpose that I have to accomplish before my life is over, you know, and I am all of that, you know, but like I said, it all comes with really courage.
100%.
I'm now realizing that I'm a courageous person, and I can actually say that without trying to be, you know, like pompous or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just arrogant. Like it's not even about that. It's about really saying, hey, I think I'm really strong and really courageous because I've confronted things. I confronted people. I've confronted situations, that I could have turned around and been like, you know what, I'm just going to walk away or put my head down and not deal with it. But I'm like, no. And I keep doing that for people even, I keep standing up for people whenever I don't see something right happening, or, I'm always like the one who's going to say something, or, and I was like that since I was little, but not confrontational, just like trying to do the right thing.
Right.
So that's kind of me.
The courage. You're the courageous lion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just think
I love it.
It's a lot. I mean, for you, it is. So it already takes courage to know that you're not in a relationship that you want to be in. There's a lot of people out there that are still in those relationships and being like, just trying to make them work and work and work. And it's courageous to step back and be like, I can make this on my own and I don't need you any longer.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, and you hate those moments, but it's true.
Yeah.
Women are just courageous because you guys have babies. Like, I don't know how you do that. So like,
I know, right?
It's already like, you know what I'm saying? So you're like the trifecta. And then it's courageous to start careers that like on your own and your own business and stuff like that. So let's get into that. So you're a realtor now. That's your own business. You're just, how long have you been doing this now?
It's 6 years, going to be 7 years, but it's been ups and downs,
Ups and downs,
the whole thing, and it's kind of just keep on trucking type of thing. So, I love what I do. I love the industry. I've met really good people.
What made you want to come into this industry?
Actually, it was a family member that kind of brought me into the whole thing, and she recruited me, and I didn't know she was, doing the recruiting. Like I didn't know, but she was like
a little cult, go take this, this Kool-Aid over here.
You're so good at this and that. But it came back to what my ex-boss had said. You should go into sales. You're really good with people, and like this and this and that. You know, and so. And so when she said that, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. But also it was something that I wanted to do because it would allow me to be home with my son.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the motivator too. It was just like, okay, well, I don't really have to get, I'm not in a race. I can just, take my time, really learn things, and but get to be home with my son, be involved in his school and PTAs, and just have the time for all of that, and not have to be clocking in and out of a standard
9 to 5, right? Yeah,
9 to 5 job. So that was kind of why I started it. But now my son is older. My daughters are pretty self-sufficient and independent, and so now I'm really, really, treating it as a business and growing and wanting to, grow more and, depend on having the right people by my side and the right team, with me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, you should be. Like you said, you're a born leader. Like it already kind of said that in the, your birthday, but you are good with people.
Yeah.
Like we need more mentors out there, more people that have life experiences. This is not a church podcast. This is not, faith. I don't care what people believe in. I never push religion on anybody, but that's the reason I kind of left the Catholic Church, is because the priest can't have life experiences. You want to follow people, and you want people to give you the advice that have that same experience at times. And there's nothing wrong with Roman Catholic. I'm still confirmed in there and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what good mentors are.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love having you on the show, because have such a great history of just living it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And it's been hard,
It is hard. And it is hard. And this industry is hard. And this, getting up every day and being like, okay, how do I find a new lead? And like, you're, what do we say? Unemployed after every transaction.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you have kids to feed and people depend on you. And like, I don't think people really understand scary. Like how serious this, consumers, when they're like, oh, I bought a house and I paid this commission. Why am I paying this fee? It's like, because people go to bat for you. They're making sure that you are in the house you want, that you get the right price, that no one, you don't get a lemon. You don't like all these things that you don't have to worry about is what beautiful people like you do every day.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that everybody that does go through this experience, I mean, has like the best experience yet, you know, or ever. So for me, it's very important. Everything that I offer my clients or even my friends, I mean, I'm very dedicated when it comes to my relationships.
Yeah.
And so for me, a client is a relationship, and that doesn't really stop when you finish the transaction. It's more like, okay, when do we get to work again? When do we get to hang out again? When do we get to, you know? So having good people in this industry is like gold. You know, you find genuine gold, and I am so lucky to know really good people in this industry, you know, and not good ones too, but I mean, nobody forces me to associate with people that I don't want to associate with or be seen with or be partnered up with, or, you know, things like that. So for me, it's like I said, right now, treating my business the way that I want to treat my business, and, you know, attract the good, positive, good people in my business, like good clients too. You know, we as real estate agents sometimes, we have to put food on the table, but working for somebody that you want to work with is like the most rewarding thing. You know, you don't want to be stuck with a client who's just super difficult, or, you know, always going through just negative, and, you know, it wears you down, you know, and then you can't change somebody like that. So a lot of the times is just kind of you know, keeping that in mind, that I am a good person, and I have so much to offer genuinely for all of the people around me all the time. You know, and I'm like that with my friends. I'm super giving in that way. So
that's good. I mean, your customer service background definitely has helped in this industry, because you know how to, there are tough people that you got to deal with on the phone every day. And you know, can I want to ask you one question. Can I hear your phone voice? I know there's a different voice. I know we're talking like this. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I mean.
Well, you know what? Do you have a different voice?
I think I do. I mean, I have 100%. Like 7,000, you know, like it just depends who I'm speaking to, you know? And if I'm speaking to a new prospect or something, like, I'm sharp, I want to sound smart, I want to sound like I know every single thing. And behind the phone, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm making all kinds of faces, but I'm, you know, so I put that mask on and say, hey, how do I need to perform right now? So if it's my friends, I'm loud and I'm, you know, silly. And you know, just yesterday I was talking to one of my best friends, and it's like, you know, my daughter's like, were you guys arguing? And I'm like, no, like, we were just passionate about what we're talking about. You know? So it just really depends when I'm on the phone. It just really depends who I'm talking to.
It's funny.
For sure.
Because I have it. We all have it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
For
it's
sure.
like, well, you know, I think just that positive attitude, whether you change your voice, if it goes a little bit higher or, you know, a little bit lower, it can affect the person on the other side of the phone. And that's what that's ultimately, it's not you're being fake. It's that you're just trying to change, like, okay, something could be bad, like whoever I'm about to speak to. But if I can be a little bit like positive or bubbly about it and not join them, then it can definitely, and that would brings out the
What's
best
your
realtors.
phone voice?
My phone, I don't know if I have one.
You do.
Yeah, what is it?
Yes.
Hi, Tony. How you doing today?
How you doing?
Well, how you doing today, Tony?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what can I do for you? Of course. Let me see if I got that. I can bring that net sheet up for you right now. No,
That's not how you talk to me.
I don't, for sure, 100%.
He doesn't get all the love.
Yeah. That's because you're my homie.
Yeah. But there are some times where I'm like, you know,
a little stern.
Well, no, like even with people that are super serious, you know, clients that are just getting to know, and I'm like being too much of myself that I have to tone it down, and I have to like
more to the point and just give them the facts.
Yeah, because you know, I do think that you have to, in this industry, you have to really like know who you're speaking to, you know, and so it's a matter of
personality quiz every time.
Pick up the phone. For sure. So you don't want to come across as too bubbly or too, you know,
flaky or like, she just sounds like a valley girl.
Right.
Or
like too robotic. Oh, this, you know, so you kind of just have to wear different hats, but you got to know who you're speaking to and just kind of, you know, tune into that for sure.
I think what it comes down to though is also be genuine about it though. Like you still don't fake it.
Right.
Like whether the voice, your tone changes or not, you know what I'm saying? Or like, but still be genuine.
Yeah, no, like I have this, I was actually working on a reel that, you know, I'll probably post couple of days or whatever. But it's kind of like that, like you're just kind of like, oh my God, you know, and it's just like, but that's not really you. It's just like you really trying to please someone or just be super nice. And it's like,
you're trying to,
don't do that.
Change
don't do that.
Trying too hard.
Yeah, you're trying too hard. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, just be genuine, like you said. I try that 1,000%. Every single room I step into, I'm like, just be yourself. Like, who cares? You know.
That's why I don't know why you get nervous on things. Like you shouldn't.
Don't
second guess. You've been through so much pain, heartache, perseverance, like triumph, like.
Thank you.
You are too hard on yourself. No, you're too hard on yourself. Seriously.
Yes.
Like, I think you own it.
It just comes with, like I said, I don't know why I get nervous.
Yeah.
You know, I have every single person that I come in contact with, like they always have a smile on their face.
Yeah.
They always leave like feeling better because we had a conversation. You know, like I make sure of that. And I know
because you're the ray of sunshine in rooms. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I said today, like, even though it's gloomy out, like this is the best time because I get to sit across from you. Like, be confident. You do a great, well, not you, Tony, but you know.
Not you, Tony. Don't take my spotlight. You're talking about me here.
But everything you're doing is great.
I appreciate it so much. And like I said, I struggle reminding myself of that because, you know, there's that little kid telling myself, like, you can't do this. They're not taking you seriously. You know, all of these negative things. And I have to work through that and remind myself that no, like I got this.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like we all have those inside. Yeah.
People like being around you. People like being around me. And if they don't, it's okay.
It's okay.
You know?
Mine is outside. Mine is outside. His name is Levi.
Yeah. Mine, I have that same feeling though. Like I have to have people like me. I don't know why. It's a weird.
Yeah.
But I don't try too hard, but I also, I'm the person that's like, you know, I don't like confrontation. If I have to, I will. Well, not with you, but like if there's only a few things that will fuel me.
Yeah.
And that's making my wife cry, making my kids cry. You know, when it comes to family, then I start like getting to that point, but I usually don't get there. And
I'm everybody's friend. Like,
me too.
I'm literally everybody's friend. I'm like, when do you want to hang out? When do you want to go? You know, like I'm always trying to just be friendly. And the thing is, you know, for me, it's not just a transactional thing. It's really like humans need other humans, you know, and I have experienced enough in my life that anybody that gets in front of me, like I can probably relate to because either I've been in a similar situation or, you know, and so I always want to hear other people's stories because I'm always like, hey, you're not alone. Like I know what 100%. That feels like, you know? So even with me not, you know, now going and following my faith and having a relationship with God, it's like, you know, I'm even more open to it now because I'm like, hey, like there's something that really helped me and I want to share this with you. So it's always like, tell me more about yourself. Like what's happening with your family? And, you know, so then I start finding ways to help. And if it's not going to be, hey, let me sell your house or, you know, do you want to buy a house? It's going to be like, let me invite you to my church, you know, or like, let me, you know, show you this like awesome place that I went to and I want you to experience the same thing. Like, you know, it's just different because everybody needs that, you know, you don't have to do everything alone. And
exactly.
You need good people around you.
You need good people around you.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good segue into social media because I think getting your story out there and doing that is a big part of this industry.
Yeah.
And for one, I think you do a great job. So let's go into social media and how you got there because you have a great story. And I think everybody should hear it because we're on that. I always say this, I'm so sorry, but we're on the older end of technology. We are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look great though. I'm just saying, like, Tony always gives me shit like, hey, stop calling our people old. I'm like, I'm not. I'm saying technology wise, we are old. Life, we're just beginning.
I know.
You know, this is the beginning of everything for us. But for technology, for sure, I am behind. Not like our kids are.
Right.
So your Instagram, like just we're gonna talk about your handle afterwards, but I think it's amazing because so Francia's first post, you're back in August 2017.
Okay.
I think it was at home.
Oh,
it was a picture of a house. Yeah. August 2017. You're like, this is your mentality. You're like, Instagram? All right, I'll take a picture and post it. I just should have read the post. And yeah. Then you're like, nah, it's not for me. So your next post, I don't know, did you get shut down or something? What happened? But March 2018, almost a year later, you're like, I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try again. Another picture of a house sold. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, nah, I'm done with Instagram again.
That's right.
January 2020. What happened?
I have no idea.
Was it COVID that you're like, I'm just gonna do it?
I think it was. Honestly, I mean, it was just me saying, get over yourself. And I remember Tony Ticor Title. Yeah. Great guy. I love Tony. He told me once when I first started.
Yeah, of course. I was just looking at Tony. He gives me a time cue and I'm like, yeah. Oh, sponsors, are we okay with sponsorship?
I was thinking like, wait.
No, you're good.
Okay. So he told me when I first started, he's like, you just need to get over yourself. And I was like, yeah, I need to get over myself. And it took me so long to understand what he was trying to say. Yeah. And now it's like, I'm so over myself. I don't care. I'm like, you can, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. If I look good, great. If I don't, I don't. You know, it's like, you know, I still have to talk myself out of like, who cares, you know, because I want to be in control of everything aspect of my career, the way I look, you know, the way I sound, the way I, you know, but it's like, you know what, just do your work. Be you, be the best that you can be with any given situation. And then all of that is just going to fall into place. And so social media was one of those things. I was like, I cannot hide, you know, I can't be a secret agent. I have to tell people, I have to say what I'm doing on a daily basis or, you know, on a weekly basis, if that was the case, you know, but be more relevant and go towards something. And so I knew video and Instagram and Facebook, like they had been talking about it for so long. You know, you got to get in front of cameras. And I kick myself in the butt for not
starting earlier.
When I was supposed to, because I was not over myself and I was overthinking everything.
Well, I talked to another gentleman about this and he was saying, I'm kicking myself because back in the day you didn't have this. You had bus stops and you had, you know, billboards and you had this and this and you're looking at yourself like, oh, you know, I would never do that. That guy looks cheesy and da. That guy's laughing all the way to the bank.
I know.
Like he's like, I got my check. Like I'm selling homes and like my face, I don't care if I'm bus stops. Like that's the same with social media. Everybody that kind of went like, I don't want to do it is now going, why didn't I start earlier?
Yes, exactly that. And I'm always like, oh my God, I would be so far ahead if I would have started when I first needed to start. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, when did you feel like you just like took that leap and dove in? Because we are seeing a lot of change, a lot of our generation going, it's time, I'm going to be left behind. Yeah. I think we said this last time we met, is that you're your biggest critic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the first reel, like I always say this, because if that encourages anyone to get behind the camera, like you should just do it. You know,
what was your first reel?
God, I think it was the one that was like the Jay-Z song. I think it was a Jay-Z song with like my name is you know, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to be funny with it. And I remember, I can't post this. This is stupid. And oh my God, look at me. And who do I think I am? You know, I was just
when you finally posted it, did you just sit there and wait and be like, okay, who's going to like it? Or you just like drop the phone and you're like.
Literally like from far away, I put send or post or whatever. And then I just like turn it off. And then I remember I texted my boyfriend at the time. I was like, oh my God, I just posted a, you know, reel. And he was just like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. You know? No, he was just like, why are you, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm nervous.
I'm out there. That's what
I'm
it is.
Out there. And people are going to, you know, it's just, they're going to judge me and, you know, they're going to, you know, but no, I had such good positive feedback and everybody was just like, yeah, girl, yeah, you know, get it. And, you know, and it was just so much fun. And so from there, it was just like, okay, when can I do the next one? And the next one and the next one. It was just like, then now it's become like, okay, now I need to take myself to the next level of like informational videos, like doing a little bit more serious and saying, you know, talking about myself and what I do and with what it is that I do for my clients and things like that. So it's changed, but had I not had the courage to just do that one silly video, I would not be, there was no progression. You would still be
fighting
obviously.
for it right now to just start.
I could not get in front of, a serious camera. And I would just start, from that moment, I would be like, oh, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm saying, and it's like, we don't have the time to waste right now, especially with everybody else doing video, everybody else, social media and YouTube and things like that. So if you want to stay in this industry, you have to,
it's your business card.
Yourself out there. Yeah.
It's your business card.
Yeah.
It's what we just talked about. I like this podcast comes full circle, but we talked about is that one person that you can relate to, that one person that goes, that story I can recognize. That's me. That's my story. I want to get a hold of her. I trust her because she's been through the same thing I have.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why it's such a great way to be out there. There's obviously some downsides to technology and platforms like that. But if you're using it the right way, which you are, I mean, you have, so let's just do the stats here, like 186 posts, which is pretty minimal, but 1,200 followers at that post, you divide that's big.
Yes. And that was all based on that 2020 post or something that I started kind of just, getting with the reels, and some were good and, a lot of followers and stuff like that. But I mean, you do see growth.
And it's funny because you're not just putting videos out there to put videos out there, because you can tell. I also look at people's like followers. Okay. You're not like 1,200 people following you and like 500 followers, or you're following 500 people. Yeah. You're actually like 1,600. You're more than what people are following. So you're also engaging.
Oh, right.
And that's the biggest part. It's social media, people.
Yes.
You got to engage.
Yes.
So you're engaging. You're liking more. You're friending more people than what people are friending you. And
I totally don't care. And I'm looking at things that I'm part of, and if I see people, or like for example church, I was like, hey, I'm gonna friend everybody that it follows my church, because I go to that church every single Sunday, because I'm gonna talk to those people at some point. And now I'm volunteering at church and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So I get to have that little before relationship, and when I do see them, I'm more even open to like having a conversation with them, and just
and it's easy. I know it's kind of creepy sometimes, but if you're that introvert that doesn't know how to communicate with people that well, I mean, then there's a lot in this industry that are. Yeah. I can tell you, my wife is. But like, how do you just speak to people? I know, because you have to be. If you have a little knowledge about anything. So I used to. I'm sorry, I'm going off track here, but I used to work at the Hotel Del at the shop. Okay. At the Hotel Del. I didn't have a job when we first moved here, so I was like, oh, we need insurance. So I worked at the Del, and I mean, I was in my 30s, and there was young kids there. It was like me and young kids. So I was like, and I would speak to everybody, and they were like, well, how do you do that? Why do you do it? And it's a guy walks in with a golf shirt on, or like a Buffalo Bills hat from the East Coast that's coming to the West Coast. And I just go, oh, hey, how do you think the Bills are going to do this season? That's it. That's what social media is kind of knowing them before you engage them.
Exactly.
And so I'd just be like, and if I don't know anything about the Buffalo Bills, I let them speak.
Right.
Oh, they're going to be good. Don't know. Oh, I don't know, but let me, tell me about it. And then we get in a conversation. Now all of a sudden he trusts me, and I'm like, oh, what would be great? Like, this blue shirt looks like Buffalo Bill. And and you go and, you sell them on these shirts. It's different things. I'm not saying I'm trying to sell him on anything, but I want to create this relationship that he didn't think we had before he walked in there. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and it's super easy for me, because I'm like, I mean, who's going to block a real estate agent? It's like, Realtor Francia, come on. Like if I follow people, it's less creepy, obviously, because I'm like, maybe I'm just, I'm just a real estate agent, like, whatever. But but if I was just a random person just starting to follow people like out of nowhere, then maybe it would be a little bit more weird. But like I said,
but it's your church. You're seeing them every on the weekly basis, exactly. But you can go into them next week and be like, oh, how was you? Yeah, I saw that you went and you took the family to and they're just like, oh, it was fantastic. You should.
And they're always like, oh, I didn't know you were a real estate agent, and I'm like, there you go.
Yeah,
now you know.
Yeah, now you know. Hey, so do you feel that your business has grown from your social media?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's given me a lot of credibility, and I have gotten clients out of, social media and them seeing me post and stuff like that. And so I can only expect, with the turn of things that I'm, going to be posting and things that I'm going to be involved in, that, hopefully I'm going to grow even more. But I think that, yeah, it's definitely something worth every agent to dive into and really apply it to their business, you know, and not necessarily, I mean, invest all of your time. Like, you know, you have to work on your business, but you have to you got to go out there and talk to people and be, you know,
right. Don't
really,
just be behind the camera.
Don't
but like,
just be behind the camera. Just, you know, have that kind of going on. But I think it's helped tremendously, to be honest. And just, you know, in general, like, I think it gives you kind of like that different hat that you can put on and just be, you know, it's made me be able to like get in front of other, like, people and talk and like, you know, and it's something that, you know, had I not started behind my own phone and camera, I probably would never feel like I can do that, you know, talk to an audience and things like that. So now I'm like, okay, I got this.
How do you come up with your ideas for videos?
I just really, I don't know. I just get, that's where the creative side comes out, you know, and I'll just say, okay, what can be a little funny? What's not going to be too boring? What's going to be, you know, what do I want to shoot for today? Because sometimes I just want to be funny. I just want to make you laugh. I just want to make you connect with me, you know, and sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm going to put out like information, or, you know, I'm going to explain
you have a good blend.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't want to be too just like, just sold, just listed, you know, showing homes, you know, and it just becomes really monotone. It doesn't even matter how bright you put it or how pretty it is, you know, it's just like, okay, next. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's always changing. We have to get, you know, stay educated and, you know, go to these courses and, you know, just stay relevant with all of the technology that is coming out.
Well, it's funny because, you know, I just bought our first house in California. We haven't done it in a while, but it's so funny that, you know, you talk to these lenders and stuff, and these, they're like, don't go and buy it. This is, I'm trying to get to some, I saw one of your videos, like, you know, I went deep into your videos, but the one that I love is it blends information, but with comedy. Was the one is like the 3 don'ts of like, or your client is doing something that they shouldn't when they're purchasing a house, is like, don't go buy a new car. Don't like get in debt and don't like quit your job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny that you listed those, but it's like, that's an informational piece that like, for sure, you don't want people to do that. And like, that's what your lenders tell you. Don't go and spend, like, if you're going to remodel, don't buy all your remodel stuff before you even closed on your house. Like, you can't start buying like flooring and stuff like that. All of a sudden you're in debt, and then it's like, what?
No, so, and then you think you have good credit, and then you just like, okay, I'm going to go and apply for a credit card, you know?
But it was hilarious that you're like, okay, let's sit down, let's talk. Why?
Why?
What are you thinking? You know, that's just.
No, don't do that. I just come up with these little things that I feel, like I said, it just, it gives a little genuine part of me, of who I am. I'm super playful and childish sometimes. Not childish, but so my kids, you know, keep me young, and I mess around with them. I mean, my 14-year-old is always making fun of me. She's always like, Mom, did you really say that? What are you doing? Oh,
but don't you do it to like, just to poke them? Like, you know that that they're going to give you crap for it. So you might as well just do it.
Yeah. And she's laughing. And you know, I love that because, you know, obviously, you know, my goal is to make her laugh. And if I can make a 14-year-old laugh, I'm like,
I'm the same way.
This is so cool. You know?
I think that's where dad jokes came from, right? Like, it's not that you like think they're funny. It's just the fact that you're trying to get a response out of someone who doesn't think they're funny. Like, if you can get someone chuckle with a crappy joke that is just obvious, I think that's where dad jokes came from.
That's probably true. But it is a goal of mine, you know, to make my kids laugh. And then if I have something there, then, you know, I most likely will have it out there when I'm in front of someone and, you know, trying it. But I'm always silly. I like to make faces and, you know, add character to things that I'm, you know, doing and conversations that I'm having. And I think that's how people connect. So I'm taking myself too seriously.
You can't. So, Life is short.
Right? Yes, trust me.
Even though you want to live to be 200, that's incredible.
I want to be 200 years old.
Well, you know, you're doing things right. Congratulations on all your success. I think this is amazing. And I can't wait to see you grow, because I do wait for those videos to to pull up. So we'll plug you here in a second, but yeah, you should follow this woman and watch her videos because they're funny. They are also informational. Like you said, you're going to get into that, a little bit more. But it's a great blend.
Yes.
You keep that fun. And then you also sprinkle in some of your family, which is amazing, which you have to. Yes. And
and it's so like motivating to just continue to share more stuff with my family because I think we're in a good place right now, you know, where it's like, I have little moments with them and I just want to share and I think other people are going through the same thing, even though things are kind of crazy and confusing and, whatever. But my kids are definitely keeping me very happy right now.
Good.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
Kids are happy.
Yes.
I watched your one video of your son when he was like maybe not even a year old and he just kept laughing. I had it on repeat. I was like, God, I think that's the laughing part with little babies are just the best. Like they're just so genuinely like deep belly laugh
he has my heart.
I could watch that on repeat.
He has my heart. And my son, I always say this, my girls love them, but they're girls and it's a different chemistry. And my son and I don't know. He cannot do any wrong.
That's like my son and my wife do.
Yes.
it kills me, but
he is perfect and the most kind kid. And, I don't know. I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
And my daughters are awesome too, but
there's definitely a mother. Yeah. Mother son bond.
Hormones kind of, fighting each other all the time.
Experienced that too. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, my son is awesome, and he has a really good heart. I remember when he was a baby. I don't even know if we have any videos of him doing this, but when we would sing "Twinkle, Twinkle," he would cry like start crying, and I just thought it was like that's exactly what he is. He's like such an emotional, sensitive. I would say sensitive. Yeah. He's just, and so I'm always like I'm protective, but I'm also like encouraging, like, hey dude, you're a boy, like get over it, so I try to cheer him on with, boy stuff. But
I'm curious if that's all boys out there, because I'm sure if my mom was to sit here and talk about me, I was probably that same boy. It's the baby boys of the family. My son is the exact same way. I get stern with him and he's like, like scared. And then my wife's like, leave him alone. Like he's sensitive. And I was like, he needs to be tougher. Like what is going on? Like this world is not going to eat him up. But I think, the bond between a mother and son it's incredible. I'm like, hey, can I get some hugs here too? And you talk about, and it's funny that you say that, it's just funny that I'm thinking about this, is that women think men are the biggest babies when they get sick.
Oh yeah.
And we are 100%, but I feel like if I want my mom, but you're now my wife, like at least show me the love, like show me an ounce of love that you show your son when he's sick.
Oh my God. That's
like just
funny.
show it to it. Like the husband we just want that sometimes. Give us a hug and be like, do you gotta get you anything? Like I'm dying over here. Like, we are big weenies when we get sick. It's weird.
It's so funny because
girls are just like, whatever, I've had kids and shake it off and like, I'm cold, don't bother me right now. Like you don't want to be touched, you don't want to be anything. I'm just like, ew, hold me.
Well, I do like to get spoiled when I get sick.
Do you?
I must say, either my kids or whatever, if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, spoil me, like do everything.
Yeah.
Rub my feet, I'm always like super, but I also do that for the person that I'm with.
That's good to know.
So if if I'm...
Are you looking?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I went through a bad breakup and I'm just okay. It was just not good. And so it's kind of set me to where it's like, okay, I'm going to concentrate
Take
on
time
other
for
things.
yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And your business and your family and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of...
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
But
I talk to people about it because I feel like, like I said, it's like experiences, and especially when other women are going through their own things, I'm always like, hey, like I went through this really crazy stuff and I was in this relationship or, this happened to me. And it's just like, you can really connect with people when you start sharing your own personal stories.
Yeah.
So You know, I'm like an open book, and I think I told you this the first time we met.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm an open book because that brings other people to feel comfortable with them saying, hey, I'm not in it alone. Like, I'm not the only one going through this, and like I do need to let it out and share this with you. So I do it because of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't have any shame. You know, if you ask me something, I mean, I'll say it, but you know, I just, I'll admit to whatever it is that I've done and, you know, move past it. But
we'll have you on again, and we'll just scratch the surface. We'll have it. We'll dive deeper.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, I appreciate you coming on and spending time with us today and telling your story. And like I said, we just scratched the surface. So I would love to learn more about you. And I'm sure a lot of people, I want people to connect with you. So look in the camera, tell people where they can find you, and then, you know, just continue the story, the journey.
I'm mostly on Instagram. I mean, I have, you know, my website, franciacastro.com, and then I have Instagram, Realtor Francia, Facebook, Francia Castro, I think it is. But, you know, it's, I mean, Google, it's
easy.
Pretty simple,
Google her.
and I'll pop up right there. So look out for me and follow me.
Yeah. Plug the church you go to too. Like
Spectrum Church. Awesome. Pastor Gary, Pastor Kimberly, they're this couple that they're just amazing. We're always welcoming new members, and it's genuinely like the best church ever because it's so much fun. I mean, my pastor's like hilarious.
That's amazing. That's what you want.
He's like that guy that you can just talk to. I mean, I even contemplated on just calling him and being like, hey, I need your advice. You know, I need you to, you know, talk to you, not about religion, but just, you know, because he's such a like relatable guy, and he makes everything, he breaks it down, everything that, you know, he reads on the Bible or whatever that we're touching on. He's really good at connecting it to what we're experiencing right now. And so you don't have to be somebody that has followed the Bible or anything like that. He's just pretty much going to chew it up and then make it into more relevant
to that's what I love. Yeah. That's amazing.
So Spectrum Church for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's next for you? I always like to ask that one question.
God, well, what's next? You know, just going after more growth and, you know, touching more people. I have a lot of good partnerships right now with people that have been in the industry for a long time. And so I'm just really excited about that because, we're going to be reaching a bigger audience for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on this show.
Thank you. I'm so happy I did this.
Yeah, of course. Never be nervous to come out here. Yeah.
No, I just didn't know what to expect. So I'm like, you know, usually you get like the questions that you're going to be asked.
Why?
I'm like, okay, I'll talk about myself.
Listen, in this podcast, you know, and I've been fighting people on this all the time. They're like, get more of the, like, I want to get to know them. Yeah. Like, people want to get to know you.
Yeah.
You know, I can go look, I can Google market updates. I can Google like how to do certain things and in this industry.
Yeah.
I think the real part is the real estate agent is making you a person, humanizing you and enjoying a conversation and where you come from and why. And like, so
I appreciate that.
I'll never change this podcast.
No, I love it.
Otherwise I just won't do it. But I love having people like you said, like I said earlier, you brighten my day. Thank you. Yeah.
That's amazing. And that makes me feel so good and flattered that you say that, because that is my purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it is to brighten somebody's day, or, you know, walk into a room and just brighten the room.
Yeah.
So I really walk in with that mindset every day and every time. So yeah.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you. This is awesome. What you're doing is great. And yes, the more I can talk about myself, the better.
Well, we appreciate it. We'll definitely have you back.
All right.
Join us for this episode with Francia Castro. Tony, tell them where they can find the What's Next podcast, buddy.
Well, guys, you guys can find us in YouTube. Go ahead to YouTube and subscribe. Ring that bell so you get notifications every time that we post a new episode. Ask questions to Levi. He loves to answer those questions. Engage with him.
I will start engaging. I need to. Start asking me questions, people. Let's
go follow us also on Instagram, the What's Next Pod, also on TikTok. And go follow Levi, you know. Send him a DM. Tell him how good he looks today. He needs that. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. And we'll see what's next.
Take us out.
Peace.